Hi, everyone.
Hi, greetings from La Paz, Baja California Sur.
Hi. If you don't know us, we are Host Relocation, and I'm here with Claudia Padron, our representative in La Paz and in Los Cabos, and I am Yvonne Pavan, the general manager, and I'm located in Querétaro. So today we're going to talk about the regularization program that has been into place from several years now, and there's a lot of questions about it. It is a lot of misinformation also all over the social media. So we just want to clarify what is the program about, the requirements, if you qualify or not, and also the other ways to apply for a residency. We are immigration experts. We are not lawyers, but we are here to explain all the details from how to get your Mexican residency based on the regularization program. So, hi, Wilfredo. Thank you for connecting here. Wilfredo, he is from Querétaro. So, we will wait a few minutes to have more audience. Hi, John. How are you? Thank you for being here. So we just wait a few minutes to have more people here. Whenever you connect, please send a message to know that you are here. And I will present again ourselves. Don't forget to write all your questions about this program. This is a good opportunity to clear out all the questions. Or also later, if you don't have on mind some questions, our email is going to be there in a minute, so you can send us the questions through email or WhatsApp. Not also for regularization, but as well for any other type of Mexican residency, because there are several types to get it. Hey Pat, how are you? Thank you for connecting. Do you hear us well? Okay. Okay, just 2 more minutes to start with the program and the explanation of this program. You can see now our website, our WhatsApp, Claudia WhatsApp in La Paz, my WhatsApp in Querétaro, and our email. So if you don't think about any questions right now and maybe later it pop up, just send us a message. You can also visit our Facebook, Host Relocation Mexico, because as I said, sometimes you may read a lot of information in Facebook and not all of it's accurate because the people talk by their own experience, but that doesn't mean that that experience may apply to you. So it's very important to contact an immigration expert that knows all the ways to get a Mexican residency, but specific to your case. Hey, Ian from Europe, thank you so much for connecting. Just a few more minutes. Don't forget to post your questions so we can answer them while we are here. Besides that, Claudia is not only an immigration expert, but in La Paz, we also offer different kind of services. We're going to talk about these later on. So in case you have already your Mexican residency and you are already living in La Paz and in Los Cabos, we can also help you with other relocation matters. Hi, Chuck from the US. Good afternoon. Thank you for your time. Hi, Lenin from Europe. Thank you very much. Okay, one more minute and I will start with the introduction again of post relocation, and then Claudia will start with the specifics of the regularization program. Okay, so as I explained at the beginning, we are host relocation. As our name implies, we assist all the foreigners or expats that are interested in coming to Mexico for living purposes or for working purposes in different relocation matters. So you enjoy the process stress free. Um, hey, Charlene, how are you? Lawrence. We offer any kind of relocation service. Our job is to make this journey easier for you. We know it's very stressful to change from one country to another, so we will try to make this move easier for you. That will be our job. So in this Facebook Live, we will talk about the regularization program. The regularization program has become very popular from foreigners because it doesn't require any economic solvency. It has certain requirements that you need to fill, like you need to fulfill, and there is a lot of information all over the social media, but not always it's accurate. So it's important to talk to an immigration expert to clear out all the doubts, to make sure that you fulfill the requirements and you do the process right. Sometimes when you read posts in Facebook, Instagram, the people talk by experience, and it might be right for their own experience, but your case must be different. So it's important always to contact any type of immigration expert because we are there every single day. So we know the specifics. We solve different type of cases. So we will guide you the best way according to your situation. So, Claudia, can you start talking about this program, please?
Hello, greetings from La Paz. La Paz and Los Cabos is very friendly with this program. We are very familiar. This program started at the beginning of the COVID in 2018, and that's because many people were stuck in Mexico that couldn't go back to their home country. And that's why Mexico decided to make this program to legalize mainly all people staying in Mexico. For those, this is a very great choice now. It's opportunity for those that do not qualify under the economic solvency, but have the dreams of moving to Mexico, but that they do not apply for the economical financial solvency in the consulate, Mexican consulate. So this is a great opportunity to make your dream come true in Mexico. The regularization program gives you up to a 4-year temporary residency without proving any economic financial solvency. So that's a very great, as I said, opportunity for you to have a residency in Mexico. To qualify to this program, the main thing is that you have to have proof that you have visited Mexico uh, between 2015 and 2022. So you have to have a visa stamped under your passport. That's the proof you have to have under your passport to qualify for this program. The second is that you will have to have the second thing that
requirement
you have to qualify is that you have to have an expired FMM. That means a tourist visa. It has to be expired under your passport, so you can apply for this regularization program. As I said, the benefits is that you can apply without the economical solvency proof, and that you can have a 4 years temporary residency directly. So once you have that, after the 4 years, you can even apply for the permanent, and that's a very good choice. It takes for about once if you have the passport stamp of that stays in Mexico before 2022, and you have an FMM expired. In that case, you apply for this program. This the first thing to do is to go to immigration and see if you apply with your passport. And if you do, it will take for about from 10 days to 4 months. The
4 weeks.
application, four
4 weeks.
weeks, 4 weeks, yes. The application that you can have your temporary residency card.
Okay. I want to add, if you have an old passport and you renew it, you can present both passports, the old passport with the stamp and the new passport that is going to be your actual or current ID. So it's possible also if you have an old passport, but you need to bring it with you. That's a super important thing.
Another important thing is that you will have to stay in Mexico until the process finished. That means that if it takes the 4 weeks, you cannot move without the until the process is finished, that you have your residency card done. That's very important to know. But it's
Yes,
very
because mhm,
if you apply for these two qualifications, that means the stamp under your passport, and you have the FMM expired. It's easy to have this residency card program. Apply for this program.
yes, also you can enter, it doesn't matter if you enter by car or by plane. The As Claudia says, the second requirement is that your FMM needs to be expired. So some of the people that we assisted already lived here and they never left the country, so they are already living in Mexico in different places, so they can apply if the FMM is expired. Other option is that if you're living abroad but you have come between 2018 and 2022 and you have a stamp, you can come back to Mexico to apply for the program. But remember that in the border, that they will not always give you the 180 days. So you need to ask for like short period of time, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. So we can go to immigration after those days expire. We cannot, for example, if you have when you come back to Mexico and you have like 15 days, you need to wait those 15 days so we can go on the day 16 to immigration to apply for the program. We cannot go before that. So you need to stay the whole time, let your FMM expire, and then we can go to immigration together to apply. That's very important. So you need to overstay and then apply. If you are given 5 days, the same thing. If you're giving 90 days, the same thing. So you need to be aware of that. And also, this program is very, as Claudia says, it has a lot of benefits because not all the countries offer this option to get the 4 year residency. So I think the least you can do is just stay the timing they give you, plus stay the time that the immigration office in a specific tell you to stay until they give you your cards. In some offices, as Claudia says, it's from 10 days to 4 months. It depends on the workload of the office and the
Oh,
authorization
sorry, four
process and
weeks.
everything.
4 weeks.
4 weeks again. Yes, 4 weeks.
Yes.
So it depends on every office, it depends on the workload. So at least the less that you can do is just stay that timing if you want the 4 year residency.
but there are more the benefits that you have that the waiting. As I
Mm-hmm.
said, you go directly for the 4 years residency, and then directly once you pass the 4 years, you go directly for the permanent. So that's you will
Very
be
good
going
advantage.
only twice to immigration to do the process and become definitely a permanent resident in Mexico. So I think, and we do not know, as we have a new government running in Mexico, and even in the states will be changing, if these policies, if this program will be still on until next year, or if something might change. So I invite you, if you're in the situation that you can do now this program, apply for this program, the moment is now, because we don't know how much time it will be allowed
Into
it
place.
in
Mm-hmm.
place. That's correct.
So that's super important. We are almost in August now, so we still have a few months. This program for sure is going to stay the whole year, but we don't know what's going to happen next year. So if you don't have the economic solvency that the consulates requires now, and you have been in Mexico, it's better to do it now than later because we don't know what's going to happen in the politics laws that may change immigration laws. So it's better to do it now as soon as possible, and also just consider that the economic solvency requirements that are now into place in 2024, it for sure will increase a little bit on 2025. So you may qualify now, but not in 2025. So also, if you have the idea of moving or getting residency in Mexico, do it now because the economic solvency requirements for sure will increase next year. So now that you're talk about that, we're gonna explain also the other ways that you can get Mexican residency here. So besides the regularization program, that it's a specific program, we have the economic solvency. You need to go to the consulate at your home country or the country of residence. For example, you can be European and you have been working in the US for the last years. You have an American bank account and everything. You need to apply in the US. So it should be getting an appointment at the Mexican consulate in your home country or in your country of residence, actual residence. You need to show your 12 months of your bank account statements fulfilling the economic solvency requirements, and you will have a Mexican visa to come to Mexico and then make the canje. Canje is exchange in Spanish, and you will change your Mexican visa stamp in your passport to an actual resident card. So that's the main way to get a Mexican residency. The second way to get a Mexican residency is family link. If you are married with a Mexican spouse or you have a Mexican children, you can also be linked to them. And the third one is by a job. If you have a job offer and a Mexican company gives you an opportunity to work here, it's similar the company will start here. They will present the job offer to immigration. Immigration authorize you to have a job here, and with the authorization letter that immigration will give you, you need to go to the Mexican consulate abroad. There's no way to do it here. Get a Mexican stamp with permission to work, and then come back here and get a resident card. So that's the main ways to apply. Okay, I have a question. Um, if you have a stamp in your passport that's only like recent this year, you cannot apply if that's the only stamp because the stamp needs to be from 2018 or even a little bit farther to 2022. So if you only have stamps in 2023 and 2024 like newcomer, it will not apply into the program. Okay, another question from Chuck. What happened if this time you come to Mexico and you receive only 5 days, and then you go to immigration office to apply to the program in the 6th or 7th day? Is that bad seen? No. It's okay because you are fulfilling the requirements or having an expire FMM. It doesn't matter if you only have 5 days, 3 days, 10 days, 90 days. They don't mind. The only requirements is that the FMM is expired. Okay. A question from Rolando in Texas. Okay, Rolando, if you had been here for work purposes 2 years ago, 3 years ago, in your case, you said 2 years, you have a resident card from 2022 that is expired because you didn't have any more a job offer in Mexico, so you needed to leave, or any other reason that you needed to leave. Yes, we are able to renew or get a regularization if you have an expired resident card from 2022 or even before. In your case, we present your resident card that is expired. We present an FMM as tourist. You need to enter as tourist. You cannot show that resident card anymore. So you need to enter as tourist. And as soon as your FMM as tourist expires, we go to immigration. We need to explain why you let your FMM, your Mexican residency for work purposes to expire, and then you can apply for the 4-year program. Yes, we can do that as well. Yes, if your wife also had a residency linked through you, but it's the same year, 2022, we can link your wife as well. So we can do both regularizations at the same time at the immigration office. As soon as your FMM expires, we explain, okay, I was here working, I needed to leave, and then I couldn't come back on time to renew my resident card. My wife was here linked to me for my job, and we can do both regularization at the same time. Okay, any other question? Any other comment, Claudia, that you think that I am missing or
I can
no?
see that Charlene Wilson asked, the only stamp in my passport was 4 months ago. Should I wait until it expires in 2 months to apply? Well, in that case, if you have any other stamp before 2022, you can apply for the program. Otherwise, if it's recent, if you have only that stamp under your passport, you cannot apply for the program. As I said, it has to be since 2018 till 2022, the stamp you have to have under your passport.
If you have expired visas, no, the expired visas will no count. It will count only the resident card itself, like the green card that was in the past. Expired, yes. If you got the visas at the consulate, but you never were able to make the trip to Mexico to exchange it for a card, they will not count. They need to see either entrance stamps to Mexico between 2018 to 2022 and actual entrance stamps, because there are a lot of border runs, we call them, of people that were driving here to Mexico, but they never stop at the border, so their passport never went stamped. They doesn't count because if you enter and nobody register your entrance, basically you are not in the system. So you can tell, yes, I came here in 2015, but if they don't see the stamp and they don't see the registration in the system, they will not count you as with the regularization program. They need to see the stamps, and also you need to be on the system based on the stamps. Okay, any other question that you may have? What to say or not to say at the border? For example, you have the stamps now in your passport and you're interested in doing the regularization, let's say in August. You're coming by plane. So my suggestion is always to say, I just come for visit, a quick visit here in Mexico. I'm gonna stay 5 days for holidays, or I'm gonna visit a friend for 3 days, and try to show the booking of the Airbnb or the hotel for those days, and says, hey, I'm coming just for 5 days. I'm just coming for a holiday, or coming to visit a friend, or coming to visit family, whatever. And then you can apply for the program. Okay, there's a question in YouTube. For works, is there a best city in Mexico you recommend where the FMM is usually short and you often get results quickest if you hire you for this service? Yes, there are better cities than others. La Paz, that's why we're doing the live in La Paz and in Los Cabos, because it's super friendly. They normally don't make any excuse if you fulfill the requirements, and they give you the regularization card for 4 years. Of course, you need to pay the 4 years. They are very friendly with that program, and I can tell you there are some cities in the central part of Mexico that they are not very friendly, and they make any kind of excuse to deny the regularization. So, La Paz and Los Cabos, Mexico City will be one of the best to apply for the regularization. I will say La Paz and Los Cabos because there there were a lot of people like snowbirds, border runs, people that even had a house in the past and they live here, but they never regularize. They never get their Mexican resident card for any reason. So they are trying to make them follow the program so they can have less illegal people here. So I think that's why they are more friendly than other offices.
But even if they're friendly with the program, you will have to wait until the process is finished when it started. It could be a little bit less time in Cabo. They're a little bit faster as an immigration office. Between La Paz and Los Cabos, it's a little bit faster. They can take about 10 working days. In La Paz, maybe a little bit more. So you can consider it the timing.
hmm But as we said, even you, if you need to stay the whole time, I think it's totally worth it because in other countries, well, you may know how the process is in the US that you cannot even leave the country for for applying to this program, and the program takes like 2 or 3 years. It's not like weeks, like
We,
we're saying here in other countries. Or in other countries, you need to have a family link, or you need to buy a house of certain amount. So Mexico is giving really a nice opportunity of getting a Mexican residency. And as we said, this program can be over next year. We don't know. We haven't had any news. But since the program is now, we just invite you to apply if you fulfill the requirements. Okay, I'm reading all the questions.
with Charlene Wilson, if your tourist visa stamp is before 2022, in that case, you can apply for the program. Otherwise, if it's recent, your tourist stamp is not it doesn't fulfill the requirements.
hmm They just wanted to make it like in the past from the COVID period of time. They don't want people that, you know what, I just realized there a regularization program in Mexico. I'm going to arrive and let's see what happens. No, it doesn't work like that. But if you have a stamp between 2018 and 2022, it will totally apply to you.
That means that the stamps done during 2022 and now 2024 do not
Qualify.
qualify. That's correct.
Exactly. Maybe if the program's still into place next year, maybe the stamps of 2023 will qualify. But as I said, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. So the better is do it now while the program is for sure into place. Okay. Any other question? Let me check. What happened if you enter by car several times? There's a lot of people that enter by car several times, like especially to the border part, like Monterrey, um, Ensenada, Tijuana. What happened if you enter and you never register your entrance? You just go because you know the police officers are very friendly with the Canadians and Americans. So we are, if you don't have that registration in your passports, old passport or current passport, you will not apply for the program. Unfortunately, when the police officers just wave you in, that doesn't mean that you enter here legally. So this program means that you enter here legally as tourist with the proof of your stamps in your passports, and then you can apply for the program. So unfortunately, even if you came 10 times but you never registered, you will not apply for the program. Okay, we have a question in YouTube. Hold on 1 second. Okay, Mary B. Okay, Mary, if you're coming here for a canje because you already have a Mexican visa in your passport, how long does the process take to complete in in La Paz and in Cabo's office? Can you answer this question, Claudia? For a
Yes.
canje, regular canje.
Okay, the regular canje will be mostly the same. It is taking for about 10 working days in Cabo and about three weeks in La Paz, depending of the work they have. Immigration at the moment, but it's high season, so mainly it will be the time
Hmm.
about 10 working days. It is faster in Cabo, much faster.
Okay, we have another question in YouTube. Swear works. Um, do we go with you to the regularization program or you have to speak Spanish? That's a good question. Um, I will say 90% of the immigration officers doesn't speak English. They are all Mexicans and they speak Spanish only. So in case of La Paz and Los Cabos, if you can explain the process, Claudia, it's very smooth for you.
Okay, it will be the same. You have to accomplish, you have paperwork to do, and it's mainly in Spanish. So you have to complete the full work paperwork, and some officials do speak a little bit of English, but it's you have to be very careful in what the paperwork is requiring. You can maybe, if you decide to do it by yourself, maybe you will have to go to immigration even twice, 3 times, 4 times to accomplish the full work,
But
the
also,
paperwork.
if you hire somebody like our company, we have the advantage, specifically in La Paz and in Los Cabos, that Claudia will go to present your application in your
Oh
behalf.
yes, I will do all the
So
paperwork for you and the application, so you don't have even to go to immigration. You will have to go to immigration only once, only
for
for to
fingerprints and photo.
fingerprints and photo. That's it. And we will
And
deliver your card, residency card, to your place or any address
so
you
in La
decide.
Paz and in Los Cabos, we have that advantage. We need to go 3 or 4 times. You will go just one time. So Claudia will present your application so you don't even bother of speaking Spanish or English. She will go to the bank to pay for your fees, or if you want to pay with credit card, you can go. But normally we ask for the cash, and Claudia goes to the bank, pay for the government fees, and then once the application is approved, you need to go for fingerprints and photos. That's the only time that you go. And then Claudia keeps giving follow up until the card is printed. So she pick up the card and give it to you in your hands at your address. So it's a very smooth process. in La Paz and in Los Cabos.
We try to make it stress-free, all your relocation in La Paz or Baja. As I said, as Yvonne said, we offer other kind of services. I'm also a real estate advisor. If you're looking for rentals, long-term rentals, or even if you have the idea of buying in Cabo or La Paz or Todos Santos or rented area, I can also be of help. And we organize neighborhood tours as well, so you can know the La Paz, otherwise Los Cabos, if you are interested. Several services that can be stress-free for you and make a good decision.
Also, if you have stamps in 2022, yes, it will count. So from 2018 to 2022, considering 2022, yes, even if it's one, it will count. So you can come here and do the apply for the program. Okay. Any other question? The people is watching us for YouTube. This program is gonna be recorded, so we will be posting it in our Facebook, which is Post Relocation Mexico, the Facebook page. And also we have a YouTube channel that is Post Relocation Mexico as well in YouTube. So you can see this program and this recording later on, or the people that um, cannot connect because we have like 200 people interested here. So if you could not make it today, you can see this program later on in Facebook and YouTube. So, and also, as I said here, down below, you can see our contact information. You can contact Claudia directly if La Paz and Los Cabos or me by WhatsApp or email, and we will be happy to answer your specific cases or questions. Okay. There's a question from Sun Cho. Hopefully, I pronounce it properly. If you're planning to get a temporary residency and move in 2025, when should I prepare and apply for the visa? What will be your answer, Claudia? Always now.
Always now, yes.
So I will say apply for the residency 2024, and then you can move whenever you can do the final move. Why? Because as in the beginning of the program we mentioned, the economic solvency in 2024 will increase for 2025. It has been increasing between 20 to 30%. It's according to the Mexican salary wage. So hopefully it doesn't increase that much next year, but we don't know. The trend has been um, increasing according to the minimum salary per day in Mexico. So we will have the new economic solvency requirements until 1st of January. It's going to be posted on the official immigration websites. So I will say get your residency now, go to the consulate in your home country or in the country of residence and get your Mexican visa. Come here, do the canje for your stamp, and then yes, you have 180 days. Once you have your visa in your passport, you have 180 days to come to Mexico and do your residency, not to do the final move. As soon as you have your resident card, you can come back and forth. The immigration law in Mexico is so flexible that you don't need to live here to keep your residency status. So you come here in within the 180 days, get your resident card, and then you can come 1 year later. So it doesn't matter because the immigration law doesn't require to live
Stay in
here,
Mexico.
or stay in Mexico. Yes. So yes, apply at your early convenience. Everything is changing very fast. Exactly, Wilfredo. Thank you very much. And yeah, it's a very good question. The timing. How many, like, when you have your Mexican visa in your passport, if you're applying through economic solvency or for job purposes, you have 180 days to come here and do the exchange for a resident card, not the move. And once you stepped into Mexico, you have 30 days to go to immigration to apply. If you hire us, of course, we will not wait 30 days. Basically, the first week you are here, we can meet you. We will do the paperwork in advance, so we will request some documents from you, so we have the paperwork ready. In this case, if you coming to La Paz and in Los Cabos, Claudia will meet you to sign everything. She will present it, and then is the waiting time until you get the card. So once you have the card, you can go back to your country or you can stay. It's up to you. I have clients, for example, the first resident card is 1 year. They do not come back until the card, it's the renewal period, which is 30 days before the expiration date, and it's possible to do it. No problem. We never had even problems. And then after the first year, you come back here to Mexico to renew it. And then you renew it for 3 years. You don't need to renew it every year. You renew it for 3 years in a row. You cannot even step into Mexico for those 3 years. Mexico is so nice and so flexible that you can come until the end of the 3 years and then apply for permanent residency. And the same thing, if you are a permanent resident, you don't need to live here. The immigration law doesn't require us to live here. You can come back and forth. You can come in 5 years. It's up to you. Once you have the residency, you have it. Okay, Ferry Maya. It's possible to get a permanent resident card in 1 week. My wife is Mexican. Yes, it's possible, but you will not get the permanent resident card. If you have a Mexican spouse, the resident card that will apply to you is a temporary residency for 2 years. So you can pay the 2 years in a row, and then after 2 years, you will apply for permanent residency. The same applies for a resident that has a spouse with a temporary residency. So it can be temporary resident linked to you or Mexican spouse linked to you. So this is going to be the 2 years. You cannot apply directly for permanent. You need to wait 2 years. Okay, do you want to read the question, Claudia? The Suncho, please.
Mhm. That's good to know. How long does it usually take to get the visa once you apply? And can I apply somewhere else? Does it have to be your home country? It has to be your home country. Well, any consulate of your home country. That does. I don't know if you're from the States, but it could be in any of Mexican consulate in Canada or the States. You can apply. Otherwise, if you apply for qualify for the regularization program, you can do it in Mexico. That means that you have a visa stamped before between 2018 and 2022.
Yeah, but
In that case, you will be applying. If it's in your home country, it will be you will have to qualify with the economical solvency requirements that
mhm.
each Mexican consulate requests.
Yes. So, for example, if I have some European that lived in the US or Canada for the last years because of working purposes or family purposes, if you have a legal document that makes you stay in those countries, even though you are not American, you're not Canadian, you're European, but you're there for working purposes or family, you can apply there on your country of residence. But you need to present your bank account in the US or Canada and needs to be, of course, in US dollars or Canadian dollars. So that is the only way you can apply outside of your home country, but if you're living somewhere else.
Okay, there's also Nikki Blue. I qualified for RNE program from my visit in 2019. I'm visiting Querétaro tomorrow. If they stand for 180 days, I do not think I will be able to take advantage, right? This is a great program, and I like to take full advantage while I'm there.
Yes, as I said, I work and I live directly in Querétaro, so I will be happy to help you. And you're right. If they give you 180 days and if the program ended in 2024, you will not be able to apply. So, what I said to my clients that want to apply for this program is just tell at the immigration officers in custom, Querétaro's airport is very small. So, the officers are very straightforward. So honestly, it's very hard to get 180 days nowadays. So that's in your advantage. So you need to tell them, hey, I'm coming for a holiday for 1 week. I just come here to visit, to know because everybody talks about Querétaro. So I just want to visit and I'm going to be here 5 days. They might give you 6 days or 7 days. Or I'm visiting a friend, a very close friend that is living here because it's their birthday or whatever. So I'm going to stay 5 days. So normally they are very straightforward and give you the 5, 6, or 7 days. So that will be an advantage because honestly, the immigration officers won't give you 180 days anymore. It's very rare. They will give it to you if you enter by land. That's like the most bigger possibilities of getting 180 days, but it's very rare. So I will say you will be able to apply to the program if you said that you're coming to visit a friend, you're coming for holidays, you're coming to visit, or just doing scouting trip for a couple of days. I think you will be successful. I know Querétaro's airport, so they don't give 180 days anymore.
There's another question from Frey Maya. Do I have to live in Mexico if I get the temporary card? The answer is no. Once you have your card, you have to be, you can be 2 years because the first visa is a temporary, and you have to be here to renew it for a permanent. But you can go, you don't have to live in Mexico.
Correct. You can come back and forth as you pleased. And yes, you need to be here 30 days before the expiration date just to apply for permanent residency. It is important to mention, Ferry, that for this application, you need to have your marriage certificate apostilled and translated into Spanish. The apostille is you need to get it where you got married. So if you got married in the US, you need to get the apostille from the US, and the translation needs to be done by a sworn translator registered in Mexico. We have in the team a sworn translator, so we can help you with that. And we will need the Mexican passport of your wife. So basically that those two requirements, the Mexican passport of your wife and the marriage certificate apostille and translated into Spanish. If you got married in Mexico, well, we don't need apostille, neither translation. We can present just straight the marriage certificate, the Mexican marriage certificate. And yes, Ferry, the application will be here in Mexico. You don't even need to step in the consulate. So everything will be done here in Mexico. You enter as tourist, your wife will enter as Mexican, and we can apply everything here at the immigration office. But we will need to prepare the well, you said that your marriage certificate is Mexico, so you don't even need to get the apostille. So basically, bring your marriage certificate, Mexican passport of your wife, and we can go to the consulate as soon as you arrive. In that case, for the rest of the applications, like we're talking about the regularization program, that is very important that your FMM is expired. In the other application, it's very important that your FMM is not expired because if not, they will charge you a penalty fee. So we can apply, but you will pay extra money. Okay, any other question here? Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome, Nikki. But anyways, if you have any other questions, here is our contact information. And yeah, we'll be happy to work with you. Well, just if you don't know, we have several offices. Host Relocation have several offices here in Mexico. Claudia works in La Paz. Well, she lives in La Paz, but she also works in Los Cabos. We have the headquarters are in Querétaro. We have another office in Mexico City, another office in Guadalajara, another office in San Miguel de Allende, where I work also directly, and um, and that's it so far. So we can help you in different places, and we know the specifics of those places, and every office has their own specifics and time frame. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you very much for your comment that you're learning a lot. It's immigration has their own specifics, so it's very important to know them so you can know if you apply or which program can you apply. Also, I always say the immigration Mexico law is very, very nice and it's very family oriented because if one of your members of your family, let's say the father or the mother or even the kids, got the residency somehow, they link all the family. Mexico is very, very family oriented. So they always try to link in direct line parents with children. So all the family can stay here in Mexico together. It's not like other countries that they said, well, the kid's born here, you don't, you need to leave. Here in Mexico, they always find a way, we will always find a way to stick the family together. So that's very, very important. So if one of the members of the family got a resident card, we can link everybody else. That's another thing. Okay, we have a question from YouTube. Yes, how long does it take the process of getting residency in every office? Every office is different, so we will talk about your specific case because it also depends if you're gonna stay, if you're gonna leave after you get the residency, if you plan to do a scouting trip. For example, La Paz and Los Cabos is very popular of doing scouting trips because it's a super nice beach town, especially La Paz. So most of the people says, I want to do my residency because I want to take advantage and do scouting trips. As Claudia says, she can get you tourist trips. She do neighborhood tours so you can know more the areas. There's a lot of new developments there, and the idea is to take advantage of your time here in Mexico so you can know the area, you can know the state, you can know the city, and you can make your decision where do you want to live. Maybe, I don't know, the big cities not something for you, like Mexico City, Monterrey, Guadalajara. Maybe smaller city like La Paz, Los Cabos, and Miguel de Allende is more like you. Yeah, it's a way to know. Come here, do your residency, and in the meantime, you can do scouting trips here. Or also, if you go, for example, to Querétaro, you can do scouting trips to different places like Guadalajara, which is 4 hours from here, San Miguel, 1 hour from here, Mexico City, 3 hours. So then you realize how is Mexico here, and then you can make your decision. But the advantage that you have is even though if you get your residency, let's say in Mexico City, and you said, no, that was too big for me, that's so much craziness, you can still move around Mexico and travel all over until you find your right place.
Another important thing is that you don't have to wait until to be 60 or to be in a retirement age to think about to have the Mexican residency. As I said, if you qualify for the regularization program, it's a great program to have now without economical solvency requirements or financial requirements. Otherwise, even thinking to retire, you're around your 50s and you're thinking in a future to be retired in Mexico, I suggest not to wait until you be 60. You can start the process residency, as you can live out of the country. You don't have to stay in Mexico, and also make investments in Mexico. I have some clients that are buying properties around their 50s, pre-sales. They do all the process of having their own residency, temporary residency, and then they're permanent. And they are still working in the States. So they keep their properties here in rent, planning for a near future just to come back in Mexico and stay and live. Otherwise, like an investment, and then decide even to live in another place, but they already have the residency, and they have also a property that can be sold in a future with a great profit. So I suggest not to wait until you're 60 to move to have your residency if you can apply.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great
And
comment,
also
Claudia.
many families are moving, full families with their kids are also moving from the States and Canada, and they go back and forth. This is since COVID, that as there are many nomad jobs now, that they can decide where to work and live. So many things are changing even in Mexico. And I think the regularization program is a great way to stay in Mexico, and without with very easy requirements. I don't think any other country is so easy to have permanent or temporary residency.
Yeah, we have had clients that try to do it somewhere else, like, Europe, and they said, no, it's so hard. It takes so much time and effort and money to pay to the lawyers, money for translations. So they just basically give up. So Mexico, it's a very flexible country in immigration matters. So the only thing that you need is to contact an expert that can guide you in all the process. There's always a ways. There are different cases. Your case can be like different from another case, but there's some ways to do it. And also talking about the retirees, we have some retirees people that has kids over like younger than 18 years old. As I mentioned before, Mexico is very flexible of joining families. So if you have kids younger than 18 years old and you already have your residency, you can link them. You never know what's going to happen in the world. So having a second option of for your kid that also live in their country and then have a residency here in Mexico, you will give them a second like opportunity that
Option.
if something happens here, they can be living here full time. So just consider that if you have kids like younger than 18 years old, you can link them directly just with your resident card. If they are older than that, they will be considered adults and they will need to apply with their own economic solvency. It's hard to present for some people that has been working for years. It's going to be even harder for younger people like 19, 20-year old that they are still studying, so you can link them. And also backwards, we have clients like 50 years old, 40 years old, and you can link their parents. So it's also backwards. If you have a temporary residency, you can also bring your parents directly. The same thing, you never know what's going to happen, so at least you're giving them the opportunity to be in Mexico if something happens. So that's also for
Or
your
even if your
consideration.
parents do not apply with economical solvency and you do, you can give them this opportunity to link them with you. So host relocation will always have many different ways to to make your dream in Mexico happen.
Just ask us. Okay, the
We
time
will
is
find a
over.
solution.
The time is over. So here it is our contact information, email, WhatsApps. So Claudia, just briefly, just tell the audience what are the services we offer in La Paz and in Los Cabos. And that's basically the services we offer where host relocation is present. So
So mainly, my name is Claudia, and I work for Host Relocation, and I do apply for all the immigration. Uh, I uh, I help all with all the immigration processes, and also for the relocation. That means from finding the best home for you if you want to buy, sell, rent, neighborhood tours, city tours, and any advices of La Paz and Baja California Sur. That means even Todos Santos, that means La Ventana, Los Barriles, Los Cabos. So just come and visit La Paz and Baja California Sur, which is welcoming people, and it's a stunning nature, and you can have a very peaceful life here in Baja.
yeah, we also help you with all the follow-up services like bank account, RFC, driving license, car shopping, like any kind of relocation services that you might need later in the future for the people that we have sold their house. We also help them set up the services of electricity, water, internet providers, help you get a Mexican cell phone package plan, and all the relocation services you may need. Okay,
Just
thank you
to
all
make
for
your move stress free.
exactly. Yeah, thank you everybody for connecting,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for connecting here in Facebook, in YouTube. I was happy to talk to you. Claudia was happy to talk to you, and we will be more happy if we meet you in person someday. So, thank you very much for your time. We'll stay in
Thank you.
touch, and until next time, bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.